Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heartful of Hallmark. We're so excited to be joined by Chris Russell today. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Noah, you can kick it off.
Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. Normally, we go into the movie talk first, but we're going to do the this or that first, just because it's a bit of a longer segment, and it starts everything off a bit light and fluffy and easy for all of us.
Sure.
So how we're going to do this is going to be Kirsten, Amanda, and then myself asking you each a this or that question, leading into the fun questions and the fan questions, then right into the movie talk.
You got it.
All right. So the first question up.
Our first question that we have is, would you rather film a movie in the winter or in the summer?
Summer.
We've definitely gotten mixed results on this.
Yeah, I mean, it does. For some reason, the majority of Christmas movies are filmed in the summer. I've done a couple where they actually did it in either the fall or the winter, but it usually is in the summer. And let me tell you, if you're wearing a thick turtleneck with a pea coat and a scarf, and it's, the middle of August, it sucks. But I've done a Christmas movie in the winter where I got to wear all the gear to stay warm, but it was so cold and so windy that I couldn't feel my toes, couldn't feel my hands, and you can't wear a hat the whole time when you're shooting. Like, it was miserable. So I'll take the sweaty, hot Christmas movie today.
I think when we talked to Cindy, she said that she would pour ice down her back and stuff to stay.
Oh, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Film a movie in the U.S. or in Canada?
Well, nothing against the U.S., but I live in Canada, so it's a little more convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could choose, would you rather film a royal movie or a cooking movie?
Oh. I would say royal movie. I've already done a couple cooking movies, so time to move on.
And who wouldn't want to play a prince?
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, this was a good one too. Would you rather become a regular on Heartland or When Calls the Heart, which is kind of similar to what you're on?
Well, I'm on When Hope Falls, so I guess I've sort of already done all I can in that world, right? Because it's a spin-off of When Calls the Heart, so I have to say Heartland, I suppose.
That question is very divided. Everybody in Canada knows that Heartland is literally one of the biggest shows right now anywhere. And Canadians are very passionate about both When Calls the Heart, When Hope Calls, and Heartland. So it's just a very interesting question for us to ask. And our fans love any answer, but that one they just love for some reason.
Well, again, the only reason I said Heartland is because I'm already serious lead on When Hope Calls, which is basically, the same world as When Calls the Heart.
Be in a Star Wars movie?
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, same.
Are you kidding? Star Wars.
Yes, I actually have met Hayden Christensen before.
Oh yeah, another Canadian.
Yeah, and he's really nice. So I'm a big fan of the Star Wars movie. So I would definitely pick Star Wars as well.
Yeah. Good job, Amanda.
That's the guy answer right there, Star Wars. We all turned 4 years old.
Yeah. I mean, but if you ask my son, he'd probably say Marvel.
Yeah. I feel like with the kids, it's more Marvel because they've been seeing that come out more.
We didn't get to Star Wars like we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather sing in a movie or be serenaded?
I'd rather sing. I'm not saying I'm a great singer, but it's pretty awkward to sit there and have someone serenade you. I think like they have to be really, really good. Otherwise, it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, we've all heard.
How long is this song?
Oh, sweet child of mine.
Would you rather binge watch your favorite show or binge your favorite movie?
Probably show. I remember years ago, it's always like a reference. Like if for my wife and I, when she was pregnant with our daughter, we binged Homeland in one weekend. Well, obviously not the whole series because it wasn't all out yet, but like a good 3 seasons. And it's always like a reference point of, can we just watch Homeland again? Just eat pizza. You know what I mean? Because like, if you find a good show that you can binge, it's really hard to find another one, I think.
It is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
When it sets the bar that high.
And that's it for the this or that questions. So let's lead into the more fun, just general questions. And I'm going to start out with this one. Because multiple people who come into my work know that I do this. And they've asked me to have Christopher Russell on for one reason.
Only one.
Only one. Only one, and, well, two. One is, can we come on to meet him? And I'm like, no. No, I'm sorry. Meet him at a con or something. That's where you should meet him. But this is awesome. And their next question is, dude, you're freaking ripped. So what is your workout routine?
Oh, wow. You know what? I'm not going to keep any secrets. So years ago, there was a TV show called Spartacus that came out. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. And Men's Health magazine put out an edition with the Spartacus workout. And ever since then, I've done some variation of the Spartacus workout, which I'll tell you in a minute what that consists of. So that's been going on about 13 years now, and it seems to work just fine. What it is, if you're going full Spartan, which I don't always do, I'm not going to lie, but if you're going full Spartan, then it's 60 seconds of the movement, whatever it is, and then 15 seconds rest. And that's 10 different exercises in a row. So you'll do like a minute of goblet squats with like a kettlebell, and then you'll take 15-second break, and then you'll do a minute of push-ups or a minute of lunges or a minute of kettlebell swings or something like that. So it's all like full body, 3 rounds. So it takes about 45 minutes, and that's it. But I mean, I'm getting a bit older, so I might do maybe 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off kind of thing. Not the full, depends what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, for a little while there in 2020, 2021, and 2022, I was doing a lot of running. And then I competed in my first 10K. And I just want to let you all know that I did 39 minutes. I was very proud of it. And that cost me my shoulder blade because I had to go to physio right after. My arm because I was like, so I quit running. Just forget it. Yeah.
Every single person says, get Chris Russell. One, because he's so good looking, but also ask him what the workout is because he's just ripped and we have to know. And I'm like, anytime I get him on, that's our first fun question.
Well, there you go. So Google Spartacus workout and you will see what I'm up to.
This is another question that a lot of people seem to love. So Kirsten?
Well, what's the first thing you go for at the craft table when you're filming?
Coffee.
I can definitely see that being important on set.
It's pretty much it. It's gross. I drink too much coffee when I'm working. I need to get hypnotized to not want it anymore. I don't know what it is. I had gallons of the stuff. Why don't you have a tea, Chris? Because it's not coffee. Do it.
it's a 16-hour day, and you shoot in the middle of the night, sometimes until 4 or 5 a.m. So you need a little bit of coffee. I mean, water and tea is not going to cut it. I'm sorry.
That's true. You know what? Sometimes, so we did this. Which one was it called? Dash of Christmas.
Yep.
You seen that one
Mm-hmm.
with Laura Osnes? It was so hot when we were shooting that they made the schedule. It was 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. because it cooled down overnight just a little bit, so it made it more comfortable to work.
Mm.
So the whole thing was basically a night shoot. So yeah, it definitely messed up the sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh my gosh.
You're having a double at 1 a.m.
All right. The next question.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Ooh, first celebrity crush. Probably Nicole Eggert or Yasmin Bleef from Baywatch. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
As a guy, I get it. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Where? Oh. Has a fan ever called you by your character's name?
Yeah. This year, everyone's calling me Nick. If you've seen Santa Tell Me, you get it.
Santa Tell Me movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It did well. Yeah, it was a good one. It was so much fun to make too. It was a lot of improv in there.
Yeah. I was wondering about that, like, how much of
Yeah,
it was
well, the candy cane fight.
Yes,
We're
yes.
going across the window in the background. We're coming back. Improv. And then when she comes out to confront us, a lot of those lines, like when he's talking about
Mhm.
the ice rink, and then when Ben's talking about the ice rink, and I say to him something like, "You did that?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That must have been expensive." We just we just did whatever, and it was when you're working with someone like Ben Ayers, it's easy.
I know. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
There we go.
What's your funniest fan interaction?
Funniest fan interaction. Funniest. I mean, there's a lot of interesting presents at Christmas Con.
I was gonna say probably Christmas Con.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It wasn't too funny. I mean, I think the funniest was I think I've told this story before, but I was at Whole Foods with my son, just minding my own business. This woman comes up to me. She's like, "I recognize you. You're in those romance movies, aren't you?" And I said, yeah, sometimes, yeah, I am. And then all of a sudden behind her, this other woman pops out, says, "I have no idea who you are." And then she walked off. I was like, "Thank you."
How do you respond to that?
I'm not here trying to see if anyone knows who I am, but thank you for letting me know you know.
I would have said, "Ma'am, I don't know you either."
Yeah, you're quicker than I am. I needed you there for that. I just was mid bite, kind of shocked. My son was looking at me like, "What just happened?" Yeah.
All right. There's a couple other questions, but we'll get into those towards the very end. But I think that we should go into some Christmas Con talk because we got some pictures and some fan questions that have to do with Christmas Con and about that.
Sure.
So we're going to start off with Cricket.
Sure.
Cricket asks, "Do you have any hidden talents?"
No. Hidden talent. I don't know nothing exciting, I don't think. Oh geez. No. I mean, I can move my ears. That's about it. Yeah, see? Not impressive.
So Kirsten, what did she think that he was going to say.
Yeah, her response was that he wasn't allowed to say that his hidden talent is eating meat.
Yeah, I know that's what Cindy always says. I guess you could consider that a talent because I can definitely eat a lot of it.
And then this next one is from Sarah.
Sarah's
And
question.
Sarah-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Noah.
Go ahead.
What is your pre-filming ritual that you do?
Like, is this on the day of or leading up to it or
Yeah. I think the
day
lead
of.
up to it, or I guess you could go either way with it.
Yeah.
Well, leading up to it, I get the script. I read the script. Think about it for a minute, and I read it again. Then I'll read the script the third time, but this time I'll say my lines out loud. Then I'll read the script a fourth time, and I'll highlight my lines as I go through it. Then I'll read it a fifth time, and I'll circle all my lines, every word in each line as I go through it. Then I'll read it a sixth and a seventh, and I just keep reading it to get a sort of sense of the rhythm of the movie, like the story, and see what stands out as not really flowing. Because you can kind of tell once you read it enough times, you can tell what works and what doesn't. And then I'll make notes about what's not working and what is working, and just goes like that. If I feel like I need to call or email someone and, like the director or writer or something and just ask some questions, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll just keep going through it and through it and through it until it gets to the day that we're going to shoot. And then the morning of, I will go over all my lines for that particular day and the rest of the week, actually. And then I'll work my way backwards to today. And then once I feel confident that I know the entire week, then I'll go to the gym. So if I have to be picked up at 6 a.m., I'm going to be in the gym at 3 a.m. It's gross. But the days are so long, there's no way at the end of the day that I'm going to go do something like that. So I'll do that and then, go to set. And then that's that.
And Sarah
Pretty
sent us.
exciting.
Sarah has another question for you, but this is her. She wanted us to ask two questions, but also say hi, and she can't wait to hopefully meet you again at Christmas Con this year. Hopefully.
Oh, I'm hoping too. Do you have any embarrassing behind the scenes memories? Okay, I'll let you read it.
Okay. Do you have any embarrassing behind the scenes memories on set or like maybe at the convention?
Well, I'll start at the convention and I can talk about set too. The convention, I don't know if that's necessarily embarrassing, but something happened by the third day where my eyes would not stop watering. And so the lineup of people coming to say hi, and the whole time I was like dabbing them and squinting. But and then I felt like I was gonna sneeze the whole time, so I was like really holding it when people would come over. And then when they leave, I'd be like, like a silent sneeze. So there's that. But embarrassing, I don't know. I don't know. I felt a little embarrassed. Like they must think this guy's a bit of a weirdo. Why does he keep squinting like that and making those faces?
From being there, I did not see that at all.
On set, I can tell you about When Hope Calls. I mean, the thing is, I don't get embarrassed that easy now, but technically this was embarrassing. So the first scene I shot on When Hope Calls is when I'm walking along the boardwalk and I've got my Mountie hat on. And as soon as they called action, I walked along the boardwalk looking all cool, like, new Mountie in town. And then the wind came and just whipped my hat off. Like, took it miles away. So we had to call cut and go do it again. But it was pretty funny. Other than that, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything too embarrassing. I mean, I'm sure there has been. It's just not coming to mind. That would be it right now. Yeah.
Something.
Oh no, there is one. There's a good one. So when iPhones first came out, and I got my first iPhone, I was on set my very first day on this movie. It was called The Right Kind of Wrong. And they brought me to set and like, would you like to meet the director? He's shooting a scene right now, but we'll bring you to set. And then on the turnaround, you guys can chat. I was like, yeah, great. So I come walking to set like, yeah, I'm cool. I got a job. Look at me. And then my phone started playing Kanye West, like blaring it. Okay. As they're filming. And I'm right by the director's tent, and I have no idea how to shut this thing off. I literally had to run away from the tent because I didn't know how to turn my phone off, blaring Kanye West. So there's that. That happened.
That's really funny.
Something very embarrassing at my work happened. Not to me. This poor lady. She walks in and she's on the phone. And she's walking all across the store and she's just constantly talking. She stops right in front of our massive wall of purses and she tells the person on the phone, "Let me call you back. I can't find my phone."
Oh my goodness.
She has the phone here. She hangs up. She puts it in her purse, stops, looks at me. I went, instant call back, and she goes, "Shut up." And I'm like, oh.
Wow, weird.
And her husband says, "That's not the first time." I went,
I mean,
what do you say to that? She's walking around, she's talking on the phone, and she puts it in her purse.
Weird.
God, I love people. I love them so much. Our next fan questions comes from Jen, and she wants to know, do you remember taking this picture?
I do. How could I forget?
And she also wants to ask a couple more things. Where is this? Here it is. If you weren't acting, what would you be doing?
Does acting still exist in this world?
I'm gonna say no. If acting was out of reach in any capacity, what would you be doing otherwise?
Writing.
I
think I would have invested way more time into writing. When I was a kid and a teenager, it's all I did. I wrote so many stories, so many plays. But I feel that it's hard for me to multitask. So as an adult, I've been pursuing the acting career wholeheartedly. And then not too long ago, I did write a couple scripts. But it's like, for me, I can't do both. When I wrote that last script, that's all I did. Like the rest of the world disappeared. It'd just be until it was done. So, yeah, I would be writing, I think, for sure.
Can we ask what genre you like to write the most?
Yeah, you could. I don't know that I know. My most recent one's a psychological thriller, but before that, I wrote a sitcom pilot. And before that, it was sci-fi. So I guess it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But I'll be honest, I don't think I could write a rom-com. If I did, it would be probably it'd probably be a little, it would have a higher, like, you'd have to be a bit older to go watch it.
Yeah, maybe like a When Harry Met Sally type of a level, maybe.
Sure, yeah, or like those Matthew McConaughey or Gerard Butler ones that were around back then, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days with Kate Hudson, something like that. Yeah.
And then her other question was, have you ever thought about joining Cameo? Because there's a lot of Hallmark actors on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'd be. Yeah, I feel a bit weird about it. I mean, I guess I could, and then give it to charity and stuff like that. But I can also do that in other ways. I don't know. And then, if I'm not on Cameo, you got to come to Christmas Con if you want to get some of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In person.
Yeah, in person. Yeah.
What?
I mean, I do it. You know what? People do reach out, and depending on their story, then I'll just send it to them, free of charge, because, without the viewers, without the fans, there's no reason to make this stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really important to be thankful to them.
And with that, let's lead into the movies. But first, we got to talk about what's coming up next.
Sure.
You have When Hope Calls, the season finale coming up, airing very, very soon on GAC Family.
Yes.
Was this a offer, or did you audition for this part?
I auditioned. Yeah. The breakdown came through. I saw the character. I really related to the character, so I put a little tape together and sent it off. At the time, I had a really big beard, which is not how Michael Fletcher looks on the show. There he is right there. But yeah, so I sent that out, and I also sent an email to Bill Abbott, the CEO of Great American Family, and just said, hey, I'd really like to play this role. I think I'd do a great job at it. Why don't you take a look at this tape that I sent and let me know what you think? Didn't hear anything for a month. And then all of a sudden, I got the offer.
And how did you find out that you were going to be paired with this lovely lady again, Cindy Busby?
Well, I was BCC'd on like an email chain, I think, by accident, because I saw them talking about some details of it and then about what the plan was. And it was like, yes, as of episode 3, Chris and Cindy Busby will be the new leads, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait, Chris and Cindy Busby? What? So yeah, so the story goes, so I saw that. So I texted her right away, but I didn't want to give anything away because I'm not supposed to know. So I said, hey, do you think maybe, I don't know, you might be working anytime soon in Ontario? Just, ask. And then, yeah, we went back and forth like that for a bit. And then we realized that we were going to be doing this together, which was pretty cool. For those who don't know, we've done 4 movies together before this.
She actually told us about it too, like about the text message. And she was like, he's being super suspicious through text.
Yeah.
She is the best, and she went into detail on multiple things, and we're like, wow. Like she was in the stagecoach in charge of that. Was it 1 or 2 horses?
There's 1 horse. Well, at one point there's another horse tied at the back, so 2, yeah.
And she felt very humbled, like I am driving him around here. I'm the boss of this set right now, and I'm like, Cindy.
Yeah. I know. I had to put a lot of faith in her. That looks like a harder thing to do than just ride the horse,
Yeah, I've had to ride a few horses, and sometimes they're nice, sometimes they have minds of their own.
Oh, for me, most of the time they got a mind of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what can you hint at what's in the season finale that can potentially lead into a season 2? Well, a season 3, really, but a season 2 on GAC.
Yeah. What can I hint at? Well, there's going to be... Okay, here we go. Sparks are going to fly. Romance is in the air. There will be a first kiss. There will be action. There will be characters that return that you did not expect to see again. And there will be a Mountie, and another Mountie, and another Mountie. And maybe Another Mountie. In fact, I dare say multiple Mounties.
And I can confirm that there is one more thing that will be in the final episode.
And what's that?
Tons and tons of dirt. Tons of dirt and tons of horses.
There you go. There you go.
So I'm going to let my co-host off the chain here because she really wants to talk about this specific movie. So I'm going to let her off the chain and talk about Santa Tell Me.
Okay. Well, we kind of did discuss some of what I was going to ask before. So how is it like working with all three guys and like staying in character, like when you had those funny moments and not getting off track?
Not getting off track. Yeah, I think that's a good question. I'll just start from the beginning. So we all first met our first day together. You know the montage where she's going on all the dates with us? Same restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our first day, and that's all improv too.
Okay.
And the way it was set up is we'd each have to go down. Aaron would be sitting at the dinner table, and we'd go down one by one and just shoot our montage with no direction, really. No offense to director Ryan, he's great. My point is, he's like, yeah, just go, just talk about stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it was almost like we were actually auditioning to be her date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who's got the better banter? Who's got the better conversational skills at this table? And it actually started to feel like, because we're all watching each other.
It's like being on The Bachelor, like a reality.
Yeah. So Ben got to go first. And then he was talking about wine or something like that, and then the waiter would come over, and then he'd ask questions about the wine, and then he'd be making silly jokes, and then I was like, oh my God, what a tough act to follow. I don't know what to do here. And then it was my turn, and then we were ordering off the menu, so I had to make some comments about that. But it was really, really fun. It was tense because it did feel competitive, but it was fun. So that's how we all met. And then, when we had that scene at the end of the movie where we all find out about each other and we're fighting. We definitely, I don't know that we ever broke character necessarily or kind of got carried away. Like we were still in the movie when we were doing it, but we went for it. And like we were really whacking each other with those candy canes.
You could see it like in the scenes too. Like you guys were definitely all in. Yeah,
we were all in. And then because we had already developed a rapport over the course of the movie, it was really easy to play off each other. And then if one of us would say something that wasn't scripted, we were able to just go with it. And it was so much fun. I don't know that I've ever had a funner time on a Christmas movie than doing that. So I think that the sequel should be called Merry Nickmas. And it should be about all of us trying to find our one.
That's a great idea. Because even too, like some of the lines that were said, I was like, that was hilarious. And like at the end with the picture when someone, I don't know who said it, like, should we all take a Nick pic together?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was Ben, I think.
Was it Ben?
No, it was Kurt.
Kurt. Okay.
Like, what's wrong with you?
And that's an edgy joke. I mean, for the whole show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I like went back and replayed. Like, wait, did that just happen?
Oh, so many funny things happened on that. The scene, the meet cute, where me and Aaron bump into each other with the hot chocolate.
Yes.
The first time we did it, I guess there's all this nervous energy. I don't know, but it's supposed to spill on me, right? He plowed into me so hard that the thing, not only did it spill on me, it went up in the air, the whole thing out of the cup. I'm holding the cup still, but all the chocolate up in the air lands on her head. She was soaked. Her whole face covered in hot chocolate. The whole thing.
Oh
We had to. She obviously had to go back to hair and makeup because she's not supposed to look like that in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. She was a good sport about it, but
That's funny.
She probably had the greatest reaction ever. Like, oh,
well, yeah, she's like, oh!
Only she can do that. Only she. She has the best reactions to anything, and she was the perfect star in that movie. No other actors could have done that as perfect as she did. And we're not going to spoil what Nick she ends up with, because everybody in this movie is named Nick. But we're not going to spoil it. But that was a nice touch. That made some. How do I spoil it? Some hearts were mended.
Yeah,
let's say some hearts were
some Hardys were mended.
There you go. Some
Hardys
are mended.
Yeah, it's good. Well, it's a tough job to play a character in a way like she did, because you need the audience to root for you. And if you're dating basically 3-4 guys at the same time, some people might not appreciate that. Like behind their backs too. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the audience for all the Hallmark movies are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Picky and very set in their ways. So when something a little bit edgy happens, like I think it was a picture of her, that kiss, they lost their mind just because there was just a little bit of tongue, and all the forums were like, how dare they cancel this movie? That's too sexual for Hallmark Channel. I'm like, really?
Yeah, Chasing Waterfalls too at the end of that movie, where it's like we only had one tent. You're like, wait, they're gonna sleep in the same tent?
Which that's a perfect segue, actually. That's a perfect segue into Chasing Waterfalls.
Yeah. Iconic.
So Kirsten.
Yes, we did talk with Cindy a lot about this and how fans would love to see a sequel to it. The scenery was gorgeous. Did you have like a favorite location while shooting it?
Oh, that's tough. They were also great. I mean, where that picture was taken, actually, that's at like a conservation area. In where was it? I think in Maple Ridge, which is in British Columbia. And that place is great because actually, so in the movie, it's got like the camp where the kids go or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that's a real thing. So I think that'd be my favorite location. It was pretty interesting. I had a lot of stuff to do there. They had like the rappelling cliff and the canoeing and rock climbing and hiking, like all of it you could do around there. It was great. But we did actually travel to many, many different locations to get all those waterfalls, like all over the city. But that would be my favorite. Oh, and you know what? The waterfall in the finale, when we were shooting that, these 4 kayakers were coming down and they went off and down.
Oh my gosh.
Like they were nuts. And then kept going. Like they obviously planned it, but to watch that unfold, I was stressed out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thrill seekers.
Yeah.
Oh. What's your next question there, Kirsten?
Okay, my next one that I had is, was there like any prepping that had to go into it for like doing some of like the outdoor scenes or like being around nature?
Well, just like the regular safety meetings at the beginning of each day. And to make that movie, we, crew included, had to walk at least 30 minutes into the forest to find these locations. You couldn't drive there. And like a lot of it was downhill or uphill or mountain. Yeah, you couldn't drive to any of them, so they had to carry all the gear and stuff like that. So it was a physically demanding shoot,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Mhm.
And then we had a guide with us that would remind us how to deal with bears should we encounter one, which we do in the movie. But
Yeah.
you know,
That was actually my question: is that bear scene? What did you think about that? Because with these types of films, we see a lot of dogs, cats, birds. We've never seen a bear before. So, what was your thought process going into that shoot?
I thought it was going to be funny. That's pretty much it. Yeah, like, this is going to be funny.
Let's take a little break from the Hallmark because a article just came out not too long ago, and it was characters who could return to a certain show. Have you heard anything about the next season of Reacher?
I have not. If you've watched season 1 of Reacher, you know that the whole basically story is about my death and
Yes.
Reacher investigating why that happened. But depends on the book they choose to do next. They're not doing them in order, but my character Joe Reacher does appear in something like 7 of the books.
Mhm.
So it would just be dependent on that if they do an episode that or a season that's based on one of the books that my character's in. But so far I haven't heard anything, no. But I'd love to go back. I'd love to, because Joe Reacher, he was in the army too. He had his own little missions he would go on as well. So it's really nice to be able to play that side of him. Because when you meet my character in the first season, he's already moved on and he's working for the intelligence agencies. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
this,
watched the whole series. It was so good. And I was kind of wondering, like, what type of prep did you have to do to prepare for that? Because I know, like, Reacher is, like, jacked.
yeah, well, I didn't have to get that jacked because I'm the brains, he's the brawn, right?
Yeah,
But he's also, having said that, Reacher's also
he is.
he's very intelligent in his own way. But no, I read the book, The Killing Floor, right? I read that and researched online anything that had to do with Joe Reacher. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
it's not a quick read.
Let's go into this final movie, and then we'll wrap this up with some fun questions.
Sure.
Let's talk about this first. You spoke about singing in a movie. You have been in a movie with a phenomenal singer. So if she sang to you, what would you say? Let's talk about The Mistletoe Secret.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Kelly Pickler.
I'd say thank you. Yeah, she was really nice when we worked on that. She's really, really nice lady.
And what was it kind of like being the other guy with Tyler Hynes in the movie?
Well, you know what? It was different on this one because usually the other guys, like the suit wearing, like, you leave the city, I quit Christmas. Like, whatever kind of dumb, cliche. But in this one, it was more of I was the other guy, but I wasn't. It was like the weird miscommunication of the two best friends, right? It was like the bromance.
The romance.
Yeah, it was about our bromance because me and him have a lot of scenes together when usually the other guy doesn't. He only has it with the woman, right? But that one's more about, I think that movie's more about our friendship and how important it is to both of us, because when we resolve our differences at the end with the hug and like coming to an understanding of what had just happened, I thought it was a pretty good moment.
Yeah.
And then also it's like, I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Twins, but
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. That's one of the greatest comedies ever put to film, and I will stand by.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the Hallmark version.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Cindy. We can't bring her up without the real star of everything, Suze. What is she like with you? Because we've been told from a few people that she is a mommy's girl, but she lets some people be around her. What is your relationship like with Miss Susie?
Fine. She I think she likes me quite a lot. My kids definitely are obsessed with her. They you know, they refer to Cindy as Suze's mom.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because where we were staying when we were making When Hope Calls, we'd always see Cindy taking Suze for a walk, and my wife and kids were there as well, so they got to see a lot of her too. And they also came to set, and Suze was always on set, so they spent a lot of time with her. So I think my family gets along great with Suze. Also, we got Suze a nice little onesie for Christmas that she really enjoys. So
I'm got to ask if we can see that the next time that we talk to Cindy.
yeah, do it. It's a good one.
And one of my favorite stories that she ever told, I think it was she was doing a pickup shoot for, what was it, Kirsten? What was it, like the unwrapping movies or something? I think.
Yeah, I think it was the unwrapping.
She walked in, and they went, "Where's Suze?" And Cindy goes, "Well, good morning to you too. Yeah, hi, Cindy. But where's Susie?" And she texted, I think it was her husband, and went, "I should have brought Suze because everyone's mad at me now."
Yeah, that was a mistake, Cindy.
Yeah.
And she did say at Christmas Con, the longest line by far was for Tyler Hines. But there's only one person who would make it a longer line.
Suze.
It would be Suze. It would be Suze. Just have her in one chair, and she sits there for like 2-3 hours with Cindy there. With Cindy. Big picture, just Suze.
Yeah.
Biggest line ever. 7-hour wait, and you're like, crap. Okay. So let's wrap this up with our traditional final 2 or 3 questions. Kirsten?
What are some of your favorite Christmas movies?
Home Alone 2, The Grinch, that classic Rudolph, the stop motion animation one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like befriends the elf, the little elf guy who wants to be a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
That one too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a huge fan of Home Alone. I even got, like, they had Home Alone earrings at Christmas Con where it was like him screaming and it's him on the earrings.
Yep.
You know what though? Newer ones like Last Christmas I really liked. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Love Actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people say Jingle All the Way too.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
It's with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And he's trying to get his son, the Turbo Man doll.
Yeah, no, I remember it. I just don't remember it that well.
Okay.
I do know we can tie it back to Star Wars though, because I'm pretty sure Jake Lloyd, who played the first Anakin, was in that movie too.
Yes.
There you go. Pop trivia, everyone. You're welcome.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was Arnold, I would be so mad at my kid with all the crap that I had to do to get that toy for you when you give it away.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Spirit of Christmas, whatever.
I fought a 7-foot tall man. I had to fight Sinbad. I almost went to jail. And you're gonna give it away because of Christmas spirit.
Unbelievable.
Humbug. Who are some of the stars from Hallmark you haven't done a movie with that you would like to?
I don't honestly. I think I've kind of done it. If you like, if we're being honest, I've pretty much worked with everyone. I mean, sure, Lacey. How about that?
Lacey
I
would
Yeah.
be
did a
awesome.
panel with Lacey at Christmas Con. She seems like a wonderful gal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would even
Yeah.
be cool to see you do like another one with like more of the guys, kind of like how they
Yeah,
did.
yeah. How about that? Yeah. But I've
Yeah,
already worked with like
I
Andrew
know.
Walker, Tyler Hines, Ben Ayers.
Have you worked with
Um,
Wes? Wes Brown.
Okay,
He's
so
fun.
I haven't worked with him. I haven't worked with Paul Campbell, but I've met him a bunch of times. So sure. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. A guy comedy. You, Ben, and Matt Hamilton in a pure comedy. That would be comedic gold.
Yeah, me and Matt can play brothers.
Yeah. Matt's a good friend here. Good friend, super cool dude, love him to death. And the final question is, would you ever want to come back on to promote another project down the line?
Yeah, of course.
And with that, everybody, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Christopher Russell, for coming on. This has been a work in progress, but we got there. It's life, it's business, it's busy. We thank you for coming on. And where can we find you on social media?
Chris Russell official. That's it. But only on Instagram. There's a fake Facebook account out there that's like working really hard to trick you into thinking it's me. They won't take it down. Don't believe a word they say.
We get those all the time. Tyler Hines 0.789 followed you, and I'm like, well, hey Kirsten, he followed us. But Kirsten, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kirst_Hendershot. And then, of course, on our podcast page, Heartful of Hallmark.
And Amanda, where can we find you?
On Instagram, my Instagram is Amanda_Marie_910.
And as for me, you can find me on my own YouTube channel, just my name, Noah Kaser. This Hallmark page, our Hallmark page on Instagram, and my personal Instagram, noah.kaser. And as always, guys, like and subscribe if you're new. And as always, keep your heart full of Hallmark.